Hey everybody and welcome. It is I, your songwriting partner, your co-producer, and as always, your friend, Joe Seavey. And happy Thursday, guys. And Thursday, as you know, is our class that we like to call Picture This. Picture This is when I give you an image, a photo, any kind of image, and your job is to write a chorus because, remember, this is a songwriting class, so the object of the class is for you to write something that someone is eventually going to sing. I give you an image, a picture. It could be a poem. It doesn't have to be a song, but I would prefer it to be a song. If you could possibly do that, I would love it. And why do we do this? Well, well, first of all, it gives you a subject matter in which to write. You know, a lot of times I hate like sitting here for 2 hours staring at a blank piece of paper. There's so many topics, so many subjects you could pull from. But when there's a picture and you have to look into that picture and take something from it, that makes it a little bit easier to start to write something, you know, because you have a foundation. There's something there. And, you know, your job is to observe the picture, look at it, stare into it. Now, you know, normally I give you guys like an abstract sort of a picture most of the time. Like most of the time, that's what we do. Like I'll give you like an abstract sort of a picture. But tonight I did something a little different, and I'll explain that in a few minutes. I'll explain that in a minute or two. But anyway, I just wanted to, you know, I always talk about the protocol of doing this. Right now, I tell you guys this every week. There's no wrong way to do this. Whatever you get out of the observation of that picture and write, that becomes your world, your universe. That's what I want you to do. I want you to look at it in your own way, interpret it any way you want to. And like I said, it could be a picture of a balloon. If it makes you think about when your grandmother took you to the circus, and you write the song about your grandmother, that's fine. Because that balloon gave you that feeling when you stared at it, made you think about, you know, when when your grandmother went to the circus, you know, and she bought you a balloon or whatever. And that left a permanent image in your mind, and you want to write about that. That is entirely cool. And I want you to do that, you know. But a lot of times I look at a picture, and you don't have to do it this way, but I'll stare at a picture and really look at it, and then I'll kind of daydream about it. You know, like I tell you guys this every week. Stare at the image until it kind of fades away and you're in your own mind. You're up here. Your eyes are kind of blurry. You're not looking at anything anymore. When you pull back from that, write everything down you saw up here. And then I want you to write down everything that the physical attributes of the picture have. All the details of the picture, like the background. What's happening? Is the person wearing jeans? Are they wearing a red shirt? Does it matter? Yes. Write it all down. It could end up being a big part of whatever you're writing about, you know. The only rules of this exercise are, of course, it's a song or a poem. It's got to rhyme. It's got to rhyme. It's got to tell a story, and it's got to make sense to the listener. That's the other thing. If they translated this in Italian or Japanese, I want the people in Japan to know what the song's about. Even through the translation. It has to be universal. Everyone has to understand what you're talking about, right? So, you know, and then read into what the picture is saying, too. Like, take some, you know, you can take it upon yourself to inject your story into the picture. Because we don't know what the real story is. So we're only taking out what we see and putting it down on paper. Does that make, I hope that makes sense. You know, usually a picture will tell a story of some kind. But you can add to the story of what you see. Your mind's eye sees something different than what someone else sees. And that's cool. That's what you want. The other thing I love about this exercise is, like I tell you guys this all the time too, but I stress it because, you know, this is just a little push to be creative even when you're not feeling creative. And some days I'm bursting with ideas, and other days I couldn't write a song if you put a gun to my head. But I've learned how to tap into that creativity through these things. Like, one of the biggest ones for me is like movies, other songs. Like I tell you guys this every week, but I'm going to continue because it's so important. Everything around you can be an influence if you know how to tap into it, you know. And these all help. All these things help you to not stare at this, a blank piece of paper going, what am I going to write about? Okay, so if you don't know, at least this gives you some sort of start. You know, there's a focus, there's a picture, there's something there. You can go off on that. You can write, you know, you can find a story in that picture. That's why we do this. I absolutely love this exercise. But what I was going to tell you earlier, a lot of times I'll give you something that's not abstract, but like you can interpret it different ways. This is the first time I'm giving you something that's actually something that's very known and iconic. And I'm going to show you that picture right now. So, this is a classic photograph. You'll see what I'm saying. You know this character. It's pretty iconic. So anyway, without further ado, here is your picture. And we're back. So you saw the picture. It's the iconic Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And I was on, I forget what I was on. I can't think of it right now. But there was iconic pictures of Universal monsters like Dracula and then Frankenstein and all those things. And it made me think of the original idea for Frankenstein. And this is my take, okay? So it's probably not going to be yours, and I don't want it to be yours, but I'm just giving you my interpretation. So when I looked at the picture, I started thinking about all the different movies I saw. And I read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I love that movie. I love the book. I even like the movie with Robert De Niro in it. I like the Universal movie with Boris Karloff playing the creature. Or Lon Chaney as the creature, Boris Karloff as Dr. Frankenstein. Anyway, the premise is Mary Shelley wrote a book about a doctor who steals body parts from cemeteries and creates a whole new human being. Okay? So I wrote this from the perspective of the creature. So this is what I wrote. And I hope you like it. It goes, I, a man without a soul, with many imperfections, but no history or memory, I have no recollection. He was my father. I was his son. I never had a name. He never gave me one. Yeah, when Dr. Frankenstein realized what he had made, he abandoned the creature. And in one of the films that I saw, one of the men asked the creature, "What is your name?" And he said, "I don't have one. He never gave me one, my father." So I remembered that, and I thought that would be a cool way to incorporate that. So I'll read it again when I wrote. I, a man without a soul, with many imperfections. No history or memory. I have no recollection. He was my father. I was his son. I never had a name. He never gave me one. So that is my take on the classic, picture of Frankenstein, the Mary Shelley, the famous Mary Shelley book. Anyway, guys, I can't wait to see what you guys write based on this picture of, the Frankenstein creature. Anyway, guys, let's talk about this when we get together on Tuesday, tomorrow, actually. All right, guys, that is all the time that we have for tonight. This is your songwriting partner, your co-producer, and as always, your friend, Joe Seavey. I love you guys. Be safe, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, guys, peace.